Had a little listen to his podcast, huh?
Dude, it's educational. And besides, I've been wanting to listen to this one.
Welcome to Idling in the Impala, podcast by and for lovers of supernatural and the fan fiction it inspires. I'm Sandra, doing the introduction solo today. We ended up just completing an episode on the British men of letters. That in turn led to a lot of cultural chit-chat, and more importantly, we got on the subject of food. So there was literally so much for us to talk about in terms of food and what it's like over in Britain, what it's like in the States here, that we just decided, you know what, let's put all of our ramblings together and give you a little bonus episode on what I guess we're going to call Culture Clash, the food episode. So here you go.
So I can tell you how to make a proper cup of tea though, but I don't drink it.
So is, again, like, because, so tea's like the main, tea's like your coffee. It's like our coffee, right? Like tea over there is coffee here.
Yeah.
Because we just, I have tea, but not very often. And it's usually in the winter, and it's when I'm like, oh, I've had too much caffeine. Let me find something that doesn't have as much caffeine, like green tea or something like that. What is a proper, like, what kind of tea, what tea leaves are used?
Well, that's the thing. Tea comes in tea bags. You don't use loose leaf tea. It comes in a little bag.
Okay, that's what I use. I don't like the loose tea stuff. It's too much trouble.
I think it's not, I think you would call it like black tea. It's not green tea. It's like black tea.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that you would make it, listen up, fuckers, British people too, if you don't make it this way, you're making it wrong. Before I begin, Sandra, if you're making coffee, do you take your coffee with milk?
I do creamer. Yeah. I don't do milk. I do creamer.
Do you put that in before or after you put the water in?
I put it in after I pour my cup of coffee.
Oh.
I would think you guys would do it different, right? Like you put in the milk first before you put in.
Well, it depends.
Okay.
It depends. Because we don't have, you guys have like fresh brewed coffee is much more prevalent over there. We have like instant coffee over here, which is much more common. So you would take like your coffee grounds, you put them in the cup, and then you put the milk in first, however much milk you want.
Okay.
Because if you pour the hot water over the coffee, it scalds it and it fucks the taste up.
Okay.
So you put the milk in first.
Okay.
And then you put the water, and then you add however much sugar you're going to add to your coffee. But it's completely different for tea.
Okay.
Completely different. So you put the tea bag in the cup, and you put the water in, and you leave it to steep for however long you want to leave it to steep.
Okay.
Some people like really weak tea where you just like show it the tea bag and then leave. My dad likes tea where I would describe it as going on a caravanning weekend, coming back, and then you take the tea bag out, and he has 2 tea bags, so he likes really strong tea. But you would always put the water in first, let the tea or brew, and then you put the milk in. And there are some fucking heathens out there, like the person I'm married to, that just puts the milk in first with everything, and I'm like, no, that's not right. No.
Okay.
No.
Can I ask if it's sacrilegious over there? Because this is what I do when I drink tea. I like my tea strong. Do people ever leave the tea bags in as they're drinking?
Yeah, that can be a thing that can be done.
That's okay. Is that okay? Because I do that because I like it just to stay in there and like give me all the tea that you can out of this tea bag. Like I don't squeeze it any like I used to. I used to like squeeze it and like try to get all the stuff out. Now I just leave it in there. I just leave it in there when I drink it.
Yeah, no, that would be fine. You might get a couple of funny looks because it's not as common as leaving the tea to brew for like 5 minutes and then taking the bag out. But yeah, no,
I could see funny looks. I'm sure I would get some, somebody would be like, why are you doing it like that? Because I like it that way.
Well, we're nothing if not indecisive. So everybody thinks that their way of doing things is the right way to do things. Ask us about what we name bread, because that's always an argument.
Oh my God. I remember listening to you and Dee on a thread, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, this is so complicated.
Yeah. Do you not have things that like the name changes depending on where you are, like what state you're in? Like it's
I mean,
like
I'm
you do,
sure.
because
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Like there's
soda and
subs
pop
and
and
hoagies, like, for a sandwich, like it could be a sub, it could be a hoagie, depending
what's the
on,
difference?
it's the same thing. People just call it something different, but it's like a long roll with a bunch of deli meat in. It's either a sub or it's a hoagie, depending
It's a
on
sandwich.
yeah. But see, again, yeah, that's how, well, we wouldn't say, I mean, if you're going to order a sub, you order a sub. You don't call it a sandwich by definition. Like you'd go somewhere where they would be selling those types of sandwiches, which are subs. So, you know what I mean? Like you'd have
Oh
to order
no.
it. You'd have to say, I want a turkey sub. A turkey sandwich at some place might be something completely different than a turkey sub. A turkey sandwich could be on 2 pieces of white bread or wheat bread or whatever. A sub is on a sub roll or a long roll.
Like a baguette kind of thing.
Kinda, but softer usually. Not
Yeah.
baguettes could be rather hard. Like you could hit somebody over the head with the baguette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the fun bit. That's the
Yeah.
fun bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
So yeah, we
we
have that too.
just
Yeah.
yeah, we have it, and it very much differs. Like you can go like 10 miles in a given direction and the name will be completely different. And you will ask for your thing and you will get blank faces.
Okay.
So that's always so where I come from, like we would call it a bread cake. So it's like I'm trying to think how to describe it to you because I'm like, it's a fucking bread cake. I don't know. I don't know how else to describe it. Like a burger bun, but bigger is the best way I can think to describe it to you. And it's like soft white bread, and you slice it in half,
Uh-huh.
and then you could put like anything in it.
Maybe like a
Like
club roll. We might call that a club roll here if it's a little bit bigger than a hamburger roll or
yeah,
hamburger bun.
roll is quite common. Roll is
Mm-hmm.
quite a common term. Not
Mm-hmm.
100% sure why, but where I come from, it's a bread cake.
Okay.
And you can go a little bit down the road, and they'll call it a cob or a barm cake, or as
Okay.
I was told recently, a batch. And I was like, for one or for a tray? And the person I was talking to went, no, it's just for one. And I was like, no, that's not right. That's a plural. If you made a tray of them and you'd be like, it's a batch. Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
fine. That's a batch of bread, not
Mm-hmm.
one. So, but roll tends to be quite consistent. If you say bread roll,
Mm-hmm.
in most places, people will know what you're talking about. But I come from Yorkshire. It's a fucking bread cake.
Okay.
Like that's what it is. It's a bread
Yeah.
cake. Yeah, and I argue with people about this. I argue with people about it. And we have like another really common one is a Jaffa cake, a cake or a biscuit. I don't know if you have Jaffa cakes over there, actually.
I've heard of them.
So it's like a little sort of like circle of sponge, and then a smaller circle of orange jelly, and then the top is covered by chocolate.
Okay. I'm looking at it right now. Jaffa cakes. Okay. It
Do you
seems
guys have
like it
like
reminds me of like a little Debbie or something, like those kinds of things. Those kinds of
uh
ones. Oh, they have them in all different kinds of flavors too. Is that
yeah,
sacrilegious or is that okay?
yes. No, yes, it's wrong. It's wrong. They put out like lime flavored ones for
Yeah.
Halloween because they're green. No,
Okay.
it's meant to be orange. It's meant to be
Okay.
orange. But there's a big debate in the UK over whether they're cakes or they're biscuits. And the clue is in the name. They are cakes. And if you want to be doubly sure about this, legally they are cakes as well for VAT reasons. So
Could you just call
fight
it
me
a
about
cookie?
this. No, that's totally different.
Okay. Okay.
A cookie is exclusively like chocolate chips, a chocolate chip cookie. If it's
Okay.
not a chocolate chip cookie, it's a biscuit.
Okay.
But I know biscuits is something you guys have with breakfast over there, which is no,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah, that's what we
no,
do.
biscuits is Biscuits are sweet. Biscuits is like an after dinner snack. Nobody's out here eating. Well, some people eat biscuits for
Well, the only
breakfast.
time I think biscuits, I'm trying to think of when biscuits would be a thing for breakfast. I mean, we have things called like tea biscuits, and biscuits could be, I guess, synonymous with cookie over here for some situations.
Yeah, so
Breakfast
a lot
biscuits,
of
I don't know what a breakfast biscuit would be here.
isn't it? I think it's like a southern thing,
Mm.
like with sausage gravy and things. I don't know.
Oh, like that kind of biscuit. Yeah, totally
Yeah.
different biscuit.
Yes,
Okay,
totally,
gotcha.
totally different thing. Yeah,
I
a
consider
lot
that
of
a
what you
bread
would.
thing. Yeah, that's like a bread thing when you say that biscuit.
Ah,
Now I've got you. Yeah, because when you said biscuit, I just thought cookie. I was like, what?
yeah, no. So a lot of what you would call cookies, we would call biscuits, and cookies are a specific type of biscuit over here. And we just know of the fabled biscuits that you eat with like sausage gravy and stuff, and we're
Gotcha.
all like, that's
Okay.
fucking wrong. What are you doing?
Well, you know what? This makes me feel so much better because you guys are just as lost as we are when it comes. So there really aren't that many differences when it comes down to Americans versus British. It's like we all have our own mess that we're trying to figure
Yeah.
out.
It's usually a matter of names.
We have a lot of poultry production. I know that happens a lot in this state, but I don't think we're known for chicken. We don't do anything particularly great with our chicken, so I can't say that that's a thing.
Just grow a lot of it.
Just raise them, kill them, kind of thing.
Yeah, my family, my maternal family, comes from London, so my granddad had a very eclectic taste consisting of a lot of things that I would describe as snot, and he would tell me was really good, and I would disagree with him extensively. So my granddad would he would eat brawn, we call it over here, head cheese, which is made by boiling the entire head of a pig, and you do some other stuff to it, and you smush it all together into a block, and it's fucking disgusting. Jellied eels he particularly enjoyed. Let me know if you know what they are, Sandra, because that's a fucking ooh.
Well, my mom and dad have eaten eel before, but I can't say jellied eel is a thing.
Oh no. Do you have pork pies over there? Is that a thing that is? So it's like, it's not like a cut of pork, it's like a smushy, like kind of like spam, like a smushy together of all the icky parts of pork.
Okay.
And then it's surrounded.
Yeah, not something here.
No. Okay. Well, it's surrounded by gelatin, like jelly made of gelatin, and then
is that like aspic? Like that old, like I remember, is aspic a thing? Is that like a gelatin?
Aspic?
Like
It
those
might
molds
be.
that they used to make in like the 60s and 70s where like everything was like suspended in this clear
Yeah.
gelatin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. That's
Okay.
it. So that's around the meat, and then around that you have fake treat. So if you imagine a jellied eel is an eel that's out of the Thames River, which was filthy at the time. It might still be filthy. I don't know. I haven't checked. But it was gross at the time. And you get the eel, you catch the eel, or you buy it from the market, or somebody else has caught it, whatever, and you would take it home. And you start chopping it up while it's still alive, because if you kill it first, it releases like a toxin into its bloodstream, so you can't eat it. So, oh god, I feel ill. So yeah, you chop up the eel, whatever, and then you put it in this gelatin mixture, and you leave it set, and it's just like meat with the bone still in gelatin.
Okay.
And it's about as disgusting as it sounds.
Yeah, I just remember, I think we still have a really old cookbook that I used to look at when I was little, and I was just enthralled by these pictures of things just suspended. And not that I ever wanted to eat it, but I'm like, who ate this stuff? And who thought this was like a great thing, like to eat? And yeah, it was just like I mean, Italians, I feel like Italians, Italians that come over to the States, at least from what I've had from experience, are very big on Jello molds, right? But we've always done the sweet thing. Now, I will say, I feel like there's a thing I've seen where I feel like I've seen olives or something in Jello
Oh,
in some situation. And again, I'm not sure who came up with that idea, but in Italian households or growing up, it was Jello with like fruit cocktail mixed in. Like that was our thing. Like that was just a thing
yeah.
that I know a lot of people would do when I was growing up, and especially Italians. It was like, "Do you want some Jello? Do you want some Jello? I got the fruit cocktail. Do you want the fruit cocktail with the Jello?" So that was like a thing that we would do. But yeah, outside of that, that stuff just looked so bizarre to me. I can't even imagine. Does the clear gelatin really wouldn't taste like anything though, right? It's really just
No.
it's like you said, it's encapsulating it in.
Yeah.
So it's just the consistency and the texture that you're going for, which to me is still weird. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't. My dad is an angler, so I've seen him catch eels before.
Mhm.
Okay, they are the most unappetizing things on the planet.
Mhm.
They are super gross. They're
Yeah.
slimy and icky and gross. And I want to know who pulled one of those out of a dirty river and was like, "Good eating tonight, pals."
My dad's like
Fucking
that too.
no.
Like he was for one year, one season, he was all about he wanted to try to make eel traps to like catch a lot of eel. And we've talked about, that our backgrounds and stuff and how my dad's he's still a big like hunter and likes to hunt everything or fishes now. He's big on that. But yeah, he was all about one year.
I shared my
Okay.
screen so you can see what this fucking abomination looks like.
Yeah, that looks terrible. That looks terrible.
Ugh,
It's
gross.
almost like fish soup in a way, but that's
But
all
not
jelly.
even remotely
But that's all
appetizing.
jelly.
Yep,
Okay.
cold jelly.
Ugh.
Cold jelly.
I bet you my dad
Yeah.
would like that. I bet you my dad would like that.
Oh my god, that's so
He would
gross.
probably eat that. Yeah, but
See,
it's
like
just a thing.
you told me like your dad hunts, and I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Like, like hunted meat
Mhm.
is fine. But like, I mean, me and you've talked about this, Sandra. My granddad grew up during World War II, so he would have been 8 question mark, I think,
Mhm.
when the war broke out. So in his words, you ate what you could get.
Yeah.
There was rationing, there was things like that. And I'm like, I could not ever imagine being hungry enough to eat fucking snot.
Mhm.
And like, I don't class this like the little like shellfish. And we
Mhm.
call them like, they have weird names like cockles and winkles and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And they're just snot in a shell. And you just eat them. You get a little a fancy little fucking pokey thing, and you pull it out of the shell and you munch on it. And they sell it in jars, deshelled, and it's fucking revolting. And he's
My
like, "You
grandfather
eat what
used
you
to
could
do
get."
that. Yeah, the snails.
No,
My mom used to tell me stories. But again, like you're talking about your grandfather who during the war it was you ate what you could find. And my mom and my dad came from, not the most affluent part of Italy or region where it was pretty much, you eat what you grow, you eat what you find, you eat what you catch.
not
And
snails.
my
Not
grandfather,
snails.
my mom told me my grandfather would like go by the side of the little river where they lived, and he would just find a snail, would just slurp her right up right then and there, just right there on the spot. She never did it. Um, and my mom has eaten, has done a lot in terms of like finding stuff to eat, but she's like, that was a no-no for her. She would not, that was one thing she wouldn't do
No.
was snails. She couldn't do snails. Yeah.
No.
It's
I don't eat any kind of seafood at all. So like anything that comes in a shell, that's out anyway. Because when you open the shell, they always look like snot. Like always. Y'all people seen an oyster? Who's at that like no, snot. It's disgusting. Stop it.
yeah.
Crabs and lobsters, okay, they come with built-in weapons. right? Like, leave it alone. Like, that's not for food. Like, leave it alone. You stop that right now. If I have to tie parts of my food up to be able to kill it, it wins. It can go back. Go forth and live a long life. Crap. Right? Okay. Eels are disgusting. Prawns, langoustine, lobster comes in. There's a whole lot of shit going on around the mouths. Like, I would refer to it as like frondy shit, but they have like they have lots of legs, which is the and then like especially like prawns and langoustines, they have like, I don't know what you call them, like whiskers almost. Just frondy shit around the face, and it's deeply upsetting, and I hate it. And lobsters come in the category of it got pinchy, leave it alone, and also frondy shit. So we'll have none of that.
Yeah.
Just flat out no.
I just know I'm
cod.
spoiled. I'm spoiled because if I have to do a lot of work with my food, it just, if I have like that much effort.
And of course portion sizes is a thing. I don't know if that's unanimous all over the US or if it's just in like the big touristy places, but they all seem to have bigger plates than we do. I don't know
for some reason. I don't know either.
Why that is.
There's way too much food.
And also, you people will put fried chicken and waffles, but like sweet waffles, together on the same plate and consider that to be an appropriate meal, and it isn't, because waffles are a breakfast food and fried chicken is not a breakfast food. Nobody's eating fried chicken for breakfast. That's not right.
Again, I think that's a Southern thing because I've never had that. So but I'm sure there's things that, in the Mid-Atlantic region we eat that you would be like, what? That makes no sense at all.
Yeah, what is
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out.
Famous for?
Oh, my state's not famous for much.
Well, you're on the East Coast. Do you have like a seafood kind of state, like, or is that like further up, like
Maryland
Maine?
Is probably better known for seafood and like crabs. My husband makes a big deal out of the fact that he can't find a decent crab cake in Delaware. He's from Maryland. He has yet to find a crab cake here that he thinks is good.
That
so
is,
I guess so. That's
disgusting.
Well, but he's big on they're big on crabs. A lot of people like crabs here too. I don't. I'm not that big on seafood in general. Here, I don't know, Delaware Scrapple. I feel like that's the one thing, like lower Delaware. It's so it's just like I guess you'd call it like the scrap meat from like a pig that's all put together into like a block that is then cut up and you can fry it. It's like a breakfast thing. If you look it up, it's
I wish you could see my face. I'm so horrified.
I'm gonna
Scrapple.
Here. It's I'll put how you spell it in the chat in case you wanna look it up. But so they have like a Scrapple festival, I think, in the lower part of Delaware at some point every year. It's primarily made with pork. I think you can make it too. It's kind of like Spam. I don't know if you've ever heard of Spam. I think it kind of is reminiscent of that, but it's a block of just a bunch of stuff, pork byproducts. And you slice it up and you fry it. It's not good for you.
I think we have that over here.
Okay.
We call it something different.
Okay.
Well, no. Okay, so I'm Googling this. And
I think, is there a thing called head cheese that might be reminiscent of this? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So head cheese brawn that's upsetting to most of the people in the UK. But this takes it one step further, listeners, because this is like hog offal, the head, the heart, the liver, the other bits. Like, what? No, please fucking stop. Oh, I'm so upset. Yeah, that is very much like head cheese or brawn.
Okay.
What we would call it. And that's what Delaware is famous for.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to think. That's the only thing I can think of that somebody might say, I don't know what else we would be known for in Delaware food wise, but if there are any Delawareans or someone who knows their Delaware history that would like to help me out, feel free to mention something in the comments.
So I'm really lucky because where I live, we're famous for a couple of things. So the county that I live in is famous for rhubarb.
Okay.
I'm sure you have rhubarb over there.
Yeah,
I don't know
like
if you
pie. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
guys, okay.
Yeah, we make pie out of it. We make everything out of it.
Really?
We're famous for it. We make everything out of it. You just make like wine and liquor
Okay.
and
Mm-hmm.
all manner of things. And then the city close to where I live is famous for black licorice.
Oh,
So
okay.
potentially doxing myself there. Please, nobody turn up at my house. But yeah, near where I live, that
Okay.
city is famous for black licorice.
Do you like black licorice?
Not massive, no.
Okay. That's an acquired taste, I feel like. That's something you either love or you hate. It has a bit of a, so I don't know if I'm big on black licorice, but I feel like it leans towards like anise, like the anise flavoring. And I like that in like the Italian cookies, the pizzelles. They usually put that flavoring in there. And I also like fennel, like raw fennel, which in Italian we call it fenouil, and that has a very almost anise, but it's got that flavor to it that reminds me of like licorice kind of thing. So I kind of like it, but it's like I feel like the black licorice would be like the candy if there was nothing else left. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll have some black licorice.
It's grandma candy, isn't it? Like cough drops. And you go, can I have some sweets?
Okay.
Yeah. You know what? I'll wait till we go home.
Anise oil is what, like, my mom used to have this old bottle of it that was really strong that she would put into her pizzelles. I don't think she still has it anymore, but yeah, so it's definitely an acquired taste, I think, for that.
Aniseed is known for its natural sweetness. I don't think whoever wrote this has ever tasted aniseed. No. No, but yeah, all that kind of like licorice, fennel, aniseed, it all comes like similar kind of flavor. So no, I'm not a huge fan of black licorice. But yeah, I do live near where it's famous for black licorice. And then, like I said, the county I live in is famous for rhubarb. That's kind of it in terms of food where I we did. Well, no, we was like culture clash, and we jumped off from the British Men of Letters to here are the differences in our culture and what's a bigger food difference. What's a bigger difference in food?
Comes back
and also,
to food.
yeah, and also you've got the benefit of being in America but coming from an Italian family, so you have that blending of cultures.
Yeah, well, like, what I've
and this is how normal people live.
Because
my dad eats bushmeat.
Yeah, my just growing up too, like the way food is revered, I feel, is different too, like in an Italian household rather than maybe another culture. Like I feel like there's been some waspy white Anglo-Saxon Protestant places I've gone to where it's just like, why are you guys eating like this? When I was little, and I would just sit down and go, I don't understand what's going on. Like, to me, they would, because again, it's weird. Italians tend to, at least where my mom was from, you'd have salad towards kind of the end of the meal, not necessarily at the beginning.
Okay.
I've gotten more Americanized now where like if it's usually salad with the meal or salad at the beginning. And but then like I'll go somewhere, like my mom just does not get it if I said, I went to a friend's house and you had one plate of spaghetti with like a little twirl of pasta and then the sauce, just a little bit of sauce ladled right on top, not mixed in as it was like being prepared. Like after it was dumped out of the, after it was boiled, you put it back in the pot, you get some sauce in
You
there,
put
then
the
you plate and you
sauce and
put
you
some more sauce on top if you want, but there's sauce in it. There'd be places I'd go to where nope, you're getting a nice old bland dollop of spaghetti and we're putting some sauce on top, and
I
good
can
luck if it all
imagine
gets to your spaghetti.
I can imagine that being genuinely horrifying for little Sandra being like, this is not how mom does it. What the fuck?
Mom's like, that's not right. I was just like, did you have extra of anything? I'm like, no, whatever we got on our plate was it. She's like, they didn't offer you seconds. I'm like, nope. She's like, oh, it was like, that was just, oh my God, you don't do that. Like an Italian would be mortified. They'd feel like they would go to hell for not offering. My mom has to offer something incessantly. Like you have to beat her down and say, no, I'm good. I don't need another serving. Thank you.
it was my understanding for that European kind of culture. If you don't roll out of the door, you have not been properly fed. And this is unacceptable. Yeah. If you don't stagger back into your own home, clutching your stomach and thinking, I need to fucking lie down. Yeah. Your mother is going to phone a bitch and yell at somebody because you've not been fed properly. That was my understanding.
That's kind of That's definitely
goes.
how it is. And oh my gosh, like trying, like if I'm watching what I eat, which I'm constantly always trying to do, just because the way my body just loves to latch on and hold on to pounds and stuff. I've always wrestled with my weight, and to come from a mom who just wants to constantly feed you, she thinks, it's like you're hurting her feelings. And I'm just like, Mom, I need to. It's like, I love you, but I can't. Even if I love your food, I can't have 3 servings of it. I just can't. Like, so then I portion, and she doesn't understand. Like when I do portion, like, my plate, like this is my plate. This is what I'm eating. I'm good. Like I appreciate you offering, but no, I can't have another serving of it. It's, oh my God, food is like needs a whole therapy session. I feel like in Italian households.
Yeah.
We
thankfully we don't, there's not so much of that over here. It is in some households, but it wasn't. Like I said, we've spoke about this. Both my grandparents were children of the war. So they were stingy on food, and you did not get seconds. Fucking hell, no. Yeah. If you were still hungry, that was your problem. Yeah. You were not. Although, like, you would usually be offered like a cake or something after dinner. Yeah. So that was quite nice. Yeah. But if you were still hungry, doesn't it suck to suck? And like, it's not. I try not to do that with my own kids. If my kid comes to me like a couple of hours after he's had dinner and he's like, can I get a snack? And I'm like, you're eating me out of house and home. But yes, okay. Yeah. Okay, I can't afford to keep up with your stomach, but yes, it's fine. I'll find food. Because I have boy children, so they just eat incessantly forever. Forever. Like my kid will eat breakfast and then like an hour later be like, Mom, can I get a snack? And I'm like, baby, you just ate. And he's like, yeah, but I'm hungry again. Yeah. Child, please. Yeah. Fucking hell.
Yeah, so, I think that comes from my mom too, just like not having it growing up, and then, coming here and being able to, have an abundance of stuff. I mean, it's hard here too, not as hard as what I'm hearing, but like the inflation here, you just don't get as much, from your shopping trip like you used to. So we're really quite fortunate that, my mom lives with my husband and I, and she's always making sure we're fed. We don't have to worry about food. We'll never go hungry, I guess, is the kind of thing, where there's so much importance put on that. And we don't really go out to eat a lot. And so that's another thing too. Like I really growing up we just didn't go out to eat, and that was another thing kind of like as I got older, I was like, oh, people do this a lot. Like people get takeout, they go to restaurants. We just didn't do that. You ate at home. And that was kind of another thing that, especially when I started like dating and stuff, I'm like, oh, people just go out to eat all the time. I was like, like this is okay. So yeah, the the social part of it, but it wasn't a thing that we did because it cost a lot of money. It costs a lot of money to go out to eat. If you could buy
Yeah.
something and make it at home, it was cheaper and it was usually better for you. So, yeah. So it's interesting. Lots of stuff.
It
To
is. It's an
discuss.
interesting. There's nothing quite so culture clashy, difference illustrating than food and
Mhm.
the sort of, I want to say community, but that's not right. Like the experience and the culture
Yeah, the culture behind
around
it. Yeah.
food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we should definitely get Ted on because I definitely want to be like, why do you want to eat food that attacks back? That's not. Are you okay? I don't
will
get
ask him today. I'm like, there's been a question. Maybe I can tape his answer and then we can
Yeah,
tape. Listen to
absolutely.
me. I don't sound old at all saying tape. Maybe I can tape.
Tape his answer. I was trying to think if there was any kind of weird like feudal clashes between me and my husband about what he thinks is acceptable. Oh, no, there is. No, there is. No, there is. No, there is. Do you guys do Pancake Day over there? It would be Shrove Tuesday.
No.
No. Okay. We do.
You do pancakes.
Yeah. No. We have a specific day, and it's the day. It's in the Christian faith, of which I'm not part of, but it's Shrove Tuesday, and it comes before Ash Wednesday, and it's the start of Lent. And you're supposed to be like using up everything in your cupboard.
Like a Fat Tuesday. We call it Fat Tuesday here. I mean, they do that in
Oh, is that what it is?
I think that's Fat Tuesday. Yeah. So it's kind of like you use or you just kind of go all out or something like that day before you start.
Because you're gonna you're gonna fast. You're gonna give up something for Lent, whatever that might be. So for some reason, this has morphed into pancakes in the UK.
Okay.
So what we would call pancakes, I think you guys would call crepes because we don't have like the big fluffy pancakes that you guys have.
Yeah.
So you would call them crepes. But if you were to make pancakes or crepes, would you eat them with something sweet or something savory?
Pancakes here, at least it's always usually sweet. So it's like syrup or fruit, or people put whipped cream, chocolate, pretty much anything that you could turn it into a dessert. Crepes too. I mean, crepes, I could see some people do savory crepes. I have seen that as well, but crepes I feel are more desserty too.
But for the sake of argument, let's say, you guys would call them crepes because they're thinner, but let's say we're all on the same page. It's the meal of pancakes. So I'm with you. I'm with you. I like lemon with my pancakes. I'm not a huge fan of pancakes, but I will like have a couple. My husband makes them every year for the kids. He likes Pancake Day, whatever. So I'm like the kid. I'll give the kids like chocolate or like Nutella spread, whatever, sprinkles, marshmallows. We usually have like lemon, jelly. I don't know, like what you would call
curd, like a lemon. Curd?
Yeah, that kind of thing. I was trying to think if the word curd crossed the pond.
It does.
Yeah. So that's what I like on my pancakes, or like sugar and lemon juice, whatever. But still sweet. And I have seen my husband, a grown man in his 30s, at 9 o'clock in the morning, sit down to pancakes and meat gravy.
So kind of like the biscuit thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But like meat gravy that you'd make up to go with like, like a brisket or something.
Okay.
Like that kind of meat. I was like, let's go with steak, but that's different. No, like a brisket or a roast, like a pot roast, something like that.
Okay.
9 o'clock in the morning, and he's there, fucking pancakes and gravy. And I'm like, what are you doing, friend? And he's like, this is what you should eat pancakes with. It's the same mixture as Yorkshire puddings. And I'm like, I am aware that it's the same mixture as Yorkshire puddings, friend. However, this is not what we're doing. But every year, he's sitting there with his gravy. My eldest kid thinks it's weird. He's with me. He's team sweet pancakes. The baby doesn't really have a preference. As it stands, he's only 4. So he doesn't know yet that his dad is weird. But he doesn't like gravy in general anyway. So that's a That's a clash.
It'll be interesting to see how your kids take all of these influences and what they end up doing, as once they cross over into adulthood, like what all the different experiences they're being given, like how are they going
Yeah.
to eventually turn out in terms of their food likes and dislikes. And because that's always an interesting thing. Like I was very much, there's certain things I never would have eaten when I was little, and now I eat them, because I was exposed to it enough that I got an appreciation for it. And then there's other things that still cause me PTSD and I will not eat just because, like, I won't eat liver and onions. I was forced to eat that because apparently the doctor said a little anemic. So my mother's like, well, iron, here we go, liver. And I'm like, ew, not eating this.
No,
And
any red meat is fine for iron.
yeah, and
Doesn't got to be
I
awful.
think, yeah, the other thing was, and it's again, it was just because I was forced to eat it every Sunday for like years when I was little. It's pasta just like any other pasta, but it's a pasta called rigatoni, and it's just like a tube pasta. And it's kind of, it's short, long, but it's kind of like pressed down. I can't stand if I see a plate of rigatoni, I'm like, nope, I am not eating this. I do not like this. It tastes exactly the same as any other pasta. I will not eat it because I was made to eat it for so many Sundays. I'm like, nope, don't like it. And to me, it tastes different.
Oh.
To me, it tastes different.
Oh yeah, it's
kind
of like similar kind of shape to penne pasta, like in the tube.
I'll
but
eat
it's
penne.
like
I won't eat rigatoni. Yeah, it tastes different to me. Just in my head, I'm sure, but I won't eat it.
That's interesting, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. No, I don't. I don't have a preference on shapes of pasta.
That's the only one I won't eat. That's the only one I won't eat. So yeah, it's just that, different things over the years as you're growing up and what works and what doesn't. And what do you like? Like I love broccoli. I didn't like broccoli when I was little. But I love broccoli now, and I love broccoli rabe, which is very bitter, and it's either you love it or hate it kind of thing. My husband hates broccoli, hates every type of broccoli in any way, shape, or form. I don't think I could. I mean, I'm sure I could pay him to eat broccoli, but like he will not eat it. He, call them I don't know if I heard Dean say it once, and we just call them now demon trees. Like it's just like, but I'll like, oh, I'm eating all the demon trees. And that's like, that's disgusting. I can't believe you're doing that. He's like, no, I don't want them. He's like, put them away. Ugh, this smells horrible. Trees. But yeah, I love it. Yeah. But I didn't when I was little. So yeah, it's interesting.
Oh, that's interesting. I have a very deep, visceral dislike of sweet corn.
Really?
I hate everything about it. I hate the smell. I hate everything about it. It makes me feel physically ill all the time. Like even thinking about it now, I'm like, nope, I hate it. My husband has opinions on what you can do with bananas. Now, I think the best thing you can do with a banana is put it in the bin. I don't like bananas. I don't eat bananas. I don't like banana flavored things. Even though I know that banana flavored sweets don't taste like actual bananas, I don't like bananas. I don't like anything to do with it. They're gross. My kids, I don't know how this happened, but my kid eats bananas for breakfast every morning. There's bananas and he has like fruit bars. Trying to think. It's like kind of like a baked, it's like soft thing with like fruit inside it. I don't really know how else to describe it.
Yeah.
But he has two of those and he has banana every morning. And if you can't miss any one of these things, and he will wait in the kitchen. If you give him one without the other, he will wait until you give him the second bit.
Wow.
So I've peeled more bananas in the last 4 years than I have ever wanted to touch in my life. And they make me feel disgusting. And I don't like touching them. I don't like anything to do with them. Like watching my kid eat them make me feel a bit sick. And my husband's like, yeah, no, bananas and custard. And I'm like, oh, no. Or banana sandwiches. And I'm like, that's fucking disgusting. What is wrong with you? He's like, no, it's really nice. No, it fucking isn't. Aww. You stop that right now.
I like banana bread. I'll make banana bread. I do like that.
He's made banana bread. I think he's made banana bread. And I try everything he makes. Even if I know I'm not going to like it, I will try everything. So I'm pretty sure he's made banana bread.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have had some of it, but it doesn't ring a bell.
Okay.
No bananas. He likes coconut as well, and I don't like coconut. So he thinks a Bounty bar is fine, and I'm like, oh, it's not that. No, it's not. No. So yeah, cultural differences within marriages as well. No trees, no demon trees.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to us ramble about all things food. If you'd like to reach out to us, you can email us at idlingintheimpala@gmail.com. On Twitter, we are idlingin_D_Impala. We have a Discord channel. If you'd like to reach out to us that way, we'll have some information in the description below. And if you'd like to reach out to me personally, you can do so by checking out my fanfiction on AO3. My username is Drasna, that's DRASNA. On Twitter, I am skylewrites, that's SKYLEWRITES. And if you'd like to learn about more of my original fiction, you can visit my website at sandrakyle.com. Karlee's not here to rib me, but they are literally the agent of chaos in all things except when it comes to their social media. If you'd like to reach out to them on either Twitter or read some of their fan fiction on AO3, their username is exactly the same on both. It's Karlee Karma. However you think that's spelled, it's not. It's Karlee, Karma as it's spelled normally. Yeah, so reach out, let us know what you thought about the episode and any episode in general, and we will see you in the back seat very soon. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.